Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Shoebox Sessions as a part of Local Music Week. Woo. We have with us here today the wonderful Merrilee.
Hello.
And with me in the studio as well as some of our wonderful volunteer DJs, such as...
Hello, my name is Daniela. I run Orange You Glad on Mondays at 3 p.m.
Hello, my name is Molly. This is Tommy. I run the business Biz, a Disability Protective on Fridays at 3 p.m.
Wonderful. So, just to get us started today, you are listening to Shoebox Sessions here on KSSU, KSSU.com, and or the KSSU app, unless you got this beamed directly into your mind, as is the best way to listen to KSSU, as we have discussed. So, first and foremost, Merrilee, can you introduce us a little bit to not just yourself, but the type of music that you're going to be telling us about today?
So, yeah, of course. So, my name is Merrilee, and I've been a musician for pretty much my whole life. I was classically trained on the violin and the piano. I've been playing those for almost 15 years, and I've been writing music ever since I was a little kid. And so some of these songs today I wrote, like, I started writing maybe when I was in middle school or something like that. But I mostly do pop music, but I try to add a little bit something more to it. Like, I really enjoy adding cinematics as a classically trained musician. So I'm just trying to bring something new to the pop scene. I am inspired a lot by kind of like emo genres as well. I like to sing a lot about, basically most of my songs I write when I'm depressed in my room, and so that's kind of it's an outlet for me. So, you know, if you like sad music, then you're going to enjoy.
We love that. I feel like listening to your music, and especially like your last EP, right? It's like sad music that makes you feel things, but feel things in the way that still gets your heart pumping.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You've got that nice little like pop electronica that I think really adds an air of lightheartedness.
Yes. That's what I like to do lyrics that people will relate to. Like, I like to, describe what's going on in my mind when I'm having low moments, but do it in a beautiful way, in like a catchy way that people, maybe it'll get stuck in their head, and then they're like, wait a minute, what are these lyrics about? So that's what I like to do.
I get that. For those of you who don't know, Merrilee released a new song and EP this year.
Yeah,
right?
It's actually almost a year old, because it was on my...
Whoa.
Yeah, it'll be a year old in a couple months. That was Uf Poche, was my latest song, which will actually be... It was the first single from my album that I'm working on, which I don't have a release date for yet, but definitely by this time next year, the album will be out. So that was kind of giving people a taste of what's going to be on the album. Yeah.
So, because we won't be listening to it today, I need to spoil everyone who hasn't listened to Uf Poche.
Uf Poche, yeah, it's French. It's in French, so...
And I'm very much not French.
That's fine.
But I have absolutely had My Brain's Not Bad, It's Cold stuck in my head the entire way here. So, I hope that you... everyone listening at home, if this is not stuck in your head by the end of it, we have not done our job here at KSSU.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about this first song that you're going to play for us today.
So the first song I'm going to play is called Conditional Love, and this is, I'm doing kind of all acoustic versions of these songs today, and this is a song, the reason I chose to play this one today is because I love the chord progression of this song. I sat down and wrote this song in one night. This is actually like the fastest song that I ever wrote. And as the title implies, it's kind of just about, it's not about any single situation in particular, but it's just about being in a situation where you feel like somebody's love for you is not unconditional, and craving unconditional love from somebody and not getting it, and just kind of going through those emotions. Another one of those songs that I wrote in my room late at night, feeling those feelings. So I'm hoping that it's something that people can relate to if they've ever felt that way themselves. Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's hear it.
Say what you want to me, I'll try not to cry. Tell me who you think I am, even though you're never right. Your mind's been made up, so I will stay up all hours of the night, thinking about who I am too much, but you won't know. You'll apologize again, but never notice I'm alone. You're here, but I'm alone. You make me laugh when you say you will never change. It's not funny, it's just scary, but you don't care either way. Crying's not allowed, but I have nothing else to say. My tears should speak for themselves. Don't you understand my pain? If you could, then you would realize that you're driving me away. How did things end up this way? I just want to cry in your arms without feeling ashamed. Want you to tell me everything is okay. Crying's not allowed, but I do it all day. This condition of love is driving me insane. You may never understand who I am, that's okay. I'll wait another year, and maybe things will change. I'll wait another year, and maybe things will change.
All right, and we are back. Welcome, everybody, to Shoebox Sessions. You are listening to KSSU.com, KSSU app, or... No, that's it. So we are here with the wonderful Merrilee, and as well as two of our wonderful volunteers who have some questions for you, if you don't mind.
So you said you started off on violin and piano.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
Well, I don't know which one I started playing first because it was kind of both at the same time. Like when I was 9 years old, you know, when you're in 5th grade, at least at the elementary school I went to, they have you pick an instrument to play for orchestra or band, and I chose the violin. Actually, I can tell you the song that inspired me to play the violin is Ashokan Farewell, which is kind of like a Celtic Irish piece of music that I always wanted to play on the violin, and so that's what got me into that. And the piano, I actually learned kind of around the same age. My grandma kind of taught me how to play the piano because she plays the piano, and she taught me the basics, but then I kind of was self-taught from there, and I actually taught myself piano through kind of writing songs and like coming up with chord progressions and stuff, because that's just something I'm such a music nerd when it comes to chord progressions and intervals and stuff. I used to be a music major for 2 years, and then I switched majors because I would rather do it for fun than for school. But yeah, so that's kind of how that was my first introduction into music.
I was also a violin player
Oh,
from elementary
awesome.
school. So did you stick to you stuck to violin?
Yes, I stuck with violin, and I actually play at the symphony orchestra here at Sac State
Okay.
as well. And so it's been almost 15 years of playing the violin, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I experimented a little bit with double bass because I kind of wanted to learn that too, but then I realized it was just too big
Yeah.
of an instrument to carry around.
I was
so.
peer pressured into viola.
Oh,
so.
got you. I love the way viola sounds, but I do not want to have to read alto clef.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
no for me.
But I also couldn't, I don't know, the violins, they always had, the craziest parts. So I was lucky, kind of,
Right.
violas.
Yeah, all the shifting up on the
Yeah.
E string. Yeah. If any orchestra kids out there, you get this.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah, public school orchestra.
Mhm.
Did you, do orchestra here in the Sacramento City District?
I No, because I'm in the symphony orchestra here at the school,
Okay.
but besides that, I did a community orchestra through the Solano Youth Chamber Orchestra when I was in high
Okay.
school. But then besides that, I just did it with school
Oh, okay.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, but after I graduate, I would love to find some other community orchestra to join because I don't want to lose
Yeah.
that part of myself. I love playing in orchestras and pit orchestras as well. I love
Yeah.
doing the musicals and stuff. So I would love to have another opportunity to do that. And in future music that I'm writing, I have some violin stuff in there as well. And so, yeah, it's super fun.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah,
that
thank
I
you
had.
so much for your question, fellow orchestra kid. Right?
Merrilee, I just wondered, I thought I know you write your own songs.
Yes.
So, what is it? Is it spontaneous to play out? What's the process when you write your song?
I am the type of person that my process is 99% of the time I write the music first before I write the lyrics. Like I will sit down at my piano and just come up with a chord progression that I like, or I'll have like a chord progression or a melody in my head, and if I'm out somewhere, I will just hum it into my voice memos app on my phone so that I can remember it, and then write it down later. And then I usually, like, if I come up with a chord progression that I like, then I try to put lyrics to it afterwards. Every now and then I will think of, like, for example, for Of Poche, that was a song that I actually wrote the words to first and then came up with a chord progression for afterwards. But usually I just, like, even a song that I'm playing later today on the show was one that I had written the chords for like years ago, but I never wrote lyrics to it until I released the song. So it was just sitting, I was like, I need to come up with lyrics to this song. And so I definitely start by just sitting on the piano and seeing what I can come up with.
Is it intentional, where you're like, I'm gonna write this song, so you kind of have lyrics in mind that is connected to the type of music you want? Or is it completely spontaneous, like you're just one day and like, yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't, sometimes I'll have something in my head and then I know immediately, like, oh, I need to go to my piano right now and like play this out and figure it out. But sometimes, like, especially like if I'm in my room and I'm sad, that's where a lot of times that's where I write my music. I'll just sit down at my piano. I'm like, I'm sad right now, so I just need to sit at my piano and see what happens. And that's where a lot of my songs come from. Or it's like, I don't really have an idea of what I want to write, but I know that I'm feeling down, so I just need to sit at my piano and just come up with something. And that's really where a lot of it comes from.
I don't like songs. I do like poetry. I do like poetry. And poetry is something that like some melody. I'm just curious as like somebody who likes art like me. I'm just interested in your process. What can you?
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly used to write a lot of poetry and put it up on Tumblr, and so that's honestly where a lot of my lyrics come from too. Like sometimes, like I used to write so much poetry, and so I would come up with like a chord progression, and then I would like take sometimes from like poems that I've written, and that's also how I do my lyrics as well.
That's
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. You guys are awesome.
All right. Well, you've been getting through these questions too fast, so we have to ask you more.
All right. I'll talk slower, I promise.
No, it's okay. You're giving us great answers.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so I wanted to ask a little bit. So to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not, you are a student here, right?
I am, and I'm graduating in May.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Congratulations. You mentioned you switched over from music.
Yes, I am now a French major. And hence the fact that I did recently put out a song that was half in French. I do want to do more music in French as well. But yeah, I loved being a music major. I knew for the longest time that I wanted to be a music major, like playing the violin throughout middle school and high school. I was like, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And then, I started college during COVID, and it was like, just, I don't know, for some reason, like doing it over Zoom, and then like I was kind of, it was just a hard time for me. Like everyone was depressed during COVID, of course. It wasn't just me, but I was kind of feeling depressed in the major. I feel like doing it for school and showing up to lessons and having to do all these music theory classes and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not fun anymore when I'm getting graded on it, And so I was like, I would rather just, I realized that I don't need a degree in music to know that I can compose and to know that I can write music. And so I switched to being a French major because I have always wanted to learn French. I took it in high school. I'm really passionate about it. I got to go to France for the first time last summer.
Wow.
We both went to Paris, and that was super fun. But it's just like, that's just something else I'm super interested is language, specifically the French language. And so I want to do more music in French. And so now I'm super happy in my major, and I'm excited to graduate and see what comes next. So yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That kind of leads into my next question. Having been a music major, a orchestra kid, all of this different things, how do you kind of separate the art that you have to do for work, the art that you have to do, especially when you were doing that, and the art that you want to do when you're making your music and being Merrilee on stage?
That's a great question. I mean, that was kind of part of my thing with why I stopped being a music major, was because it was just a lot of like, I just want to focus on my own music instead of having to work so hard on this other stuff. But I actually do take a lot of inspiration from classical music and pieces that I perform. Like when I'm sitting in orchestra and we're working on a piece that has a gorgeous chord progression, I'm like, wait, I want to use this. Or like I'll go home and play around with it and see if I can do something similar. And I do have a dream of, with this album that I'm working on, I do have a lot of violin stuff, and I would love to, like, if I were to perform these songs live on stage, I would love to whip out the violin and do like a violin solo in the middle. I have a couple of songs where I do have that. And I mean, I keep talking about this album that I don't have a release date for, so I apologize, but I do have a song that is smack dab in the middle of the album that is just a 5-minute piano piece. There's no lyrics, no vocals. It's just a piano piece that I wrote. And so I'd really love to combine that classical training with my pop genre and create an album that people can't really place one genre on. I feel like that's kind of my goal. And so I love combining orchestral elements and piano and, classical elements into my pop music that I write. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, how did those influence the next song that you're about to play for us today?
Well, I mean, this is another one that I wrote on the piano. And this is definitely a more acoustic version of the song because the studio version has a lot more instrumentation and harmonies and stuff like that. And so the chords for this song definitely, I would say, are inspired by pieces that I've played in the past as well. It kind of has like a magical kind of mystical quality to it, which I'm hoping I can come across acoustically, but yeah.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
All right. This is called Tranced. Just wait for the real world. This won't be tolerated there.
And welcome back. You are listening to KSSU, KSSU.com, or the KSSU app, and we are having Shoebox sessions as a part of Local Music Week here with our favorite for the next 12 to 24 hours, Merrilee.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So, Merrilee, as per usual, I have to do my legally mandated advertisement every single one of these days. And so our partner in this week, Musiclandria, they're going to be having a bunch of performances on their end, as well as our performances here. So those of you listening at home, make sure that you tune in tomorrow at the exact same time, as well as check out Musiclandria and what they're doing, because they have this thing that, and I don't know if we talked about it. I know I mentioned it to you. They have a music library program.
Yes, I heard about it.
Yeah. And so the reason I bring this up is because you mentioned being like a violin kid, but I don't think we ever elaborated on your connection to the piano. What made the piano the instrument you chose today?
Well, I chose to bring a piano in today because probably all of my songs I write originally on the piano, because I sit in my room, I come up with a chord progression on the piano, and then I will translate it into synth or whatever kind of instrumentation I want to do later. And so piano is just the instrument that I'm most confident in playing along with these songs. Like violin, I can't really, I mean, maybe I could sing and play the violin at the same time. That would be fun to experiment with. But as far as like, doing chords and everything, I knew I wanted to come in and play the piano, especially because the songs I chose today are songs that were recorded on the piano as well. And so I figured that would be the best way to do a live performance with that. Yeah.
How many instruments can you play? Because it feels like you've got a lot going on.
Well, violin and piano are my two that I would say I am proficient in playing. Like, I can confidently say that I play them. When I was in high school, I also did a semester when I was in band, and I did percussion, auxiliary percussion, which, like, I did bells and chimes and stuff, which is set up the same way as the piano, and so it was easy for me to do. When I was younger, I played a little bit of guitar. I got a guitar for my 13th birthday, and then I learned it a little bit, but I haven't touched it in years, but I would love to maybe do that again. And then I play the ukulele, not that much, but I do know how to play it. I know a few songs, but I actually have a song that isn't out that I did record on the ukulele. So, yeah, I know. I'm like thinking I have all these songs that I need to release that aren't released. So I do have a ukulele song as well. So I guess, yeah, those are the instruments that I play. Yeah.
I have another question. Have there been any concerts or any artists that have released music, or you've gone to their concert, that has, like, inspired you to make the music for your new album?
21 Pilots, 100%. 21 Pilots is my favorite band in the world, and we recently went to Clancy Tour and we went to Icy Tour a couple years ago. And every time I go to one of their shows, they're just phenomenal. They put on such a performance, and they, like, when I watch their shows, I mean, we literally talk about like ideas that we have for future shows of like things that we would want to do based on what they've seen, and like the way they transition their songs as well. They're definitely the band that has inspired me the most with the stuff that they talk about in their music, with like mental health and just like emotional things. That's what I like to write about, and also a lot of their just musicality has inspired me a lot. They are definitely my number one inspiration. I would love to, if they ever listened to my music, I would freak out if they ever knew who I was. So shout out. Shout out to them.
I love Heavy Dirty Soul. That has been my song
gosh.
since I was like 12.
Oh my gosh, on the Clancy Tour, they did Heavy Dirty Soul into Nico and the Niners. Or no, they did Nico and the Niners into Heavy Dirty Soul, and it was the craziest transition, and I was screaming my head off. I love that so much.
Also, is there like, would you ever want to write like an album for any movie?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I should have talked about this. Yes, I want to. Back when I was a music major, especially, my biggest dream was to compose music for, like, soundtrack music for film or for video games. And that's still a really big dream of mine. Like I have like my music and like, my album that I'm working on with like singing and the pop genre and everything. But I really like the big dream would to be to write like soundtrack music for films or video games. That's like something I've always wanted to do. That is a really big goal of mine. I'm so happy you asked about that because I totally forgot to mention that. That is like something I would love to do. If there's any video game designers listening that need a composer, hit me up. I would love to do that.
Is there any like game or movie in specific you have right now that you would have loved to be part of for writing that music?
Man, I don't know necessarily, but I do know that games that have inspired me, the Undertale soundtrack is a really, really big inspiration of mine. Toby Fox, the reason I started using FL Studio for my music is because I knew that that's what he used to create the whole Undertale soundtrack. I love that. Like Toby Fox is a really big inspiration for me as far as composers go, and so I would love to do something like that with like the 8-bit kind of style. Also Stardew Valley. I love the Stardew Valley soundtrack. Concerned Ape does all those songs himself, and so he's another big inspiration for like video game soundtrack. So I would love to do something like that.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for your questions.
I have to know now. That was a great question because now I have more questions based off of it. So first off, favorite 21 Pilots album, and I will be judging you.
Oh my gosh, this is impossible. This is really okay. I feel like right now it's Clancy. I love Clancy so much, but before Clancy came out, it was tied between Vessel and Trench. But I'm gonna say Vessel and Clancy are but it's just like, I don't know. Every time I listen to Clancy, I'm like, this is my favorite. But then every time I go back and listen to Vessel, I'm like, that's my baby. Vessel is my baby. I love that album, especially because they did so many Vessel songs live for Clancy tour. It made me fall in love with it all over again. I can't pick one. My top two are Clancy and Vessel. Those are my top two. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're so valid for that.
Okay, period.
I would say I also have to pick top two because Clancy is so up there. They had like that comeback, but I totally fell off after Vessel. Like
really?
After Vessel, I was like, because they came out with, I can't even remember it. That's how much I fell off.
Blurryface was after Vessel. I'm a huge nerd. I know all the orders.
I went hard with Blurryface because that was when it was on the radio, but I can't listen to Blurryface now because I think it was so overplayed.
Right. A lot of those songs were.
But the original, like, 21 Pilots, like, my introduction was Friend Please.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And that's why I'm like
this. I almost put that on the playlist because that's, I
would have cried.
Oh, I was like, maybe I shouldn't do something that I'm going to start crying, but, yeah. I know. I love that album, too. Like, I can't even pick. That's, like, up there for me, too.
And now my degenerate is going to show, because you had a Toby Fox mention. Have you listened to the original Megalovania from Homestuck?
I did. I think I have heard it. It was a while ago, like, when I was a teenager and I was a huge Undertale nerd. I think I did hear it. It's been a while though. But yeah, I love Toby Fox, and also the way that he uses themes from different songs in other songs. That's actually a big thing that I'm working on for my album right now. Like, I love doing that kind of thing where you're like, wait, I heard this in that song and now it's in a different way in this song. Like, I love Toby Fox.
Musical storytelling.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it so much. So this is great. This is the perfect interview because I just get to nerd out about my interests.
That is what we do here at KSSU, to be quite honest.
I love it. I love it.
So tell us a little bit about the musical storytelling you're going to do in this next song.
Well, this next song is called The Good Old Days, and this is a song that I wrote kind of reminiscing, as a lot of us 20-somethings do, on missing life as a kid. It's just kind of a song being like, I wish I could go back to being a kid, because as an adult with responsibilities and, having to make money and so many things, sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I miss when life was simple and I didn't have to worry about the world so much. And so that's just kind of me talking about that in this song.
Wonderful. Let's hear it.
All right. beautiful thing. Our eyes were innocent and pure, oblivious to the world. Do you remember dancing in your living room when any song played? 'Cause that's all we knew how to do. But now we finally see the world and what it means to be. Do you remember never worrying about a thing when things were easy? But none of us even had a clue. And now we finally see the world and what it means to be. Why is it like this? Why can't we just go back? I miss dancing and laughing without a single care in the world. And now we learn how to be in a world where no one feels free.
And we are back. We are reaching the end of our hour here at Shoebox Sessions KSSU. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a part of Local Music Week, in which we are platforming a new local artist every single day. So tune in tomorrow at this exact time from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Denim Nuns. Tomorrow, whoop whoop. Woo-hoo. But in the meantime, we have Merrilee, of whom is my favorite so far. Don't tell the other two.
Oh,
okay. And so, favorite Wednesday performance. How are you feeling right now? How are you doing?
It feels great to be the favorite Wednesday performance. I will be holding that title strong. I love it. I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate all of you having me and all of you being here. It means the world to me. This is my first time performing these songs live, so it's so awesome to have this opportunity. Yeah.
Speaking of live, what is your dream set? If you were to open, close, or have or headline with anybody in the world, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. If I could open for 21 Pilots, that would be the big dream, to be able to tour with them and hang out with them. That would be the big dream. But besides that, obviously headlining would be incredible, doing any kind of tour. I mean, I got to start small, so I want to reach out to bars in Sacramento and stuff like that to see what we can get started when I graduate. But yeah, I would love to tour. I would love to tour the world, honestly. That's the big dream. Yeah. Got to dream big, you know.
If you had to pick a venue around here in Sacramento, which one do you think would be the best for your vibe?
Honestly, I'm not that well educated on all the venues in Sacramento. I mean, obviously Capital One Center would be awesome because it's, you know, famous, massive stadium. But
Merrilee Stadium tour coming soon.
Right? Coming soon in 10 years from now. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love to do like a whole California tour, if anything, like to start off with. That would be fun to road trip around and see what I can do. But yeah, this is the beginning for me. Performing on KSSU, this is the beginning of Merrilee performing live. So thank you guys for letting me be here.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. I'm the audio guy right now. But well, speaking of music venues, I guess dream venue around the globe, if you had to pick one. Or a few.
I would love to perform in Paris. That's my favorite city, and I went last year. And I mean, you know, I'm a French major. I'm a French nerd. I would love to go back and to be able to perform there. That would be awesome. I mean, obviously the big places like Madison Square Garden would be cool. Like, any of those. But I guess dream like destination to perform in. Like if I got to perform in Paris, France, and go to the capital of France and speak French with the audience and everything, like I'm like, guys, I can actually speak French with you. Like that would be my moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I made it in life.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah.
The French songs would go crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need to get more of a French audience because I definitely want to do more French music. Maybe I should do a whole album of French music, honestly, in the future.
So, because we are reaching the end of our hour, tell us right now, Merrilee, where can people find you?
Well, my music is pretty much on any music platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. It's just Merrilee, Merrilee, 2 R's, 2 E's. And my social media, Instagram, merrilee.music. My Twitter is at whoisthatonekid. But yeah, I'm just on all music platforms at just Merrilee. My YouTube channel, my artist YouTube channel is just Merrilee, so you can check out my music videos and stuff there if you'd like to. But yeah.
And is there anything coming up that people should know about?
Well, I'm working on an album, and the next song that I'm about to play is an unreleased song from that album that I have a feeling will be the next single. Again, I don't have a release date. I need to work on it and figure it out. So follow me on the socials so that you can keep updated on that. So this next song is something, right? This next song is something that I guess you can listen to and then look forward to a studio version. Hopefully soon-ish. Yeah.
Wonderful. So before we hear what our lovely volunteer DJs...
I'm DJ Danny. Tune into Orange You Glad on Mondays at 3 p.m. I do a new theme every week, so make sure you guys tune in and give me ideas too, because I'm running out. So.
And I am the comment. On Fridays at 3 p.m. I'm doing a bit to get a bit of perspective. And I also have topics they want to talk about. Please let me know.
And I have been your host, DJ Bumble. You can find me typically at the time slot before this one on Wednesdays from 6 to 7. Or you can find me in any other Shoebox session, really ever. So, in the meantime, we would love to hear this last unreleased song.
Awesome. So this song is called My Dusty Brain, and this is the first time anyone's ever hearing it. Okay, pay attention, it's important. Did I mention, need to tell you something before I forget? I need to write a record, tell me how to make it better. There's no reason to pretend that we just met. You're always saying something, always lurking, always haunting, always treating me like your marionette. You're just a dusty brain, told me I'd drive myself insane, but now I'm hearing all this music in my head, and it goes like la da 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 la da 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 da. Out of time to write, I'm 21 and you were right, I'm just another average brunette trying to make it in this business. How am I gonna pursue this if I'm not even done with my album yet? The future is so daunting, and you're sitting here just taunting me with choices that I could have made instead. I think my family hates me, no they love me, no they hate me. All this music is still screaming in my head, and it sounds like la da 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 da. La da 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 da. So let's just think this through. It doesn't even matter what I do. It matters what the people say. They'll scatter if my brain's awake. But why do I maintain this point of view? Am I living for the satisfaction I implore? Am I living just so I can write some more? Tell me one more time, why are we sitting here in my piano seat, waiting for things to be clear? I don't know, no, I don't know. Am I supposed to know everything? That doesn't make sense. I'm thinking, what is all this music in my head? It sounds like la da 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 da. La da 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 da. Oh my gosh.